already staked into the earth days earlier. With deliberate care, she slid the backpack from her shoulders and let it drop to the ground with a soft thud. The zipper opened slowly, metal teeth parting one by one. From inside, she lifted the large, unglazed clay handi, its rough, earthy surface cool against her palms. She set it reverently on a flat granite rock. Next came the small jute sack of basmati rice, the leather pouch of whole spices, a cloth-wrapped bundle of marinated chicken, a tiny clay cup for saffron, a jar's ghee, fresh mint, and foraged mountain thyme wrapped in damp cloth. Everything arranged in a neat half-circle on the rock, like offerings. She stood and walked toward the edge of the pines. Her hands reached for fallen branches, dry, resin-scented pine. One thick log after another snapped cleanly with sharp cracks that echoed briefly across the meadow. Arms full, she returned and knelt beside the handi. Twigs first, then larger pieces, built into a perfect teepee over a circle of cleared earth. From her pocket came the ferro rod. One firm scrape, a shower of bright orange sparks arced through the air in slow motion. They landed on dry tinder. A tiny flame appeared, fragile and trembling. She cupped her hands around it, breathing gently until it caught. Twig by twig, she fed it. The fire grew, crackling, popping, sending thin smoke curling upward into the cooling air. Warm orange light spread across her face, her green t-shirt, the waiting clay pot. Next, water. She walked the 20 meters to the small mountain stream that ran crystal clear over smooth stones. The metal pot dipped in. Water entered with a soft glug, glug. Ripples spread outward, catching the last pink of sunset. She carried the full pot back, set it near the growing fire so the stream water would slowly warm. Rice next. She returned to the stream with the bowl of basmati, submerged it, swirled gently with her fingers. Cloudy starch water poured away into the current. Fresh water added, rinsed again. The grains now shone clean and bright. She carried the drained rice back to the fire. On the flat rock, she peeled onions, papery skins curling away and falling like dry leaves. The knife scraped rhythmically against stone as she halved them, then sliced them into thin, even crescents. Ghee went into the small iron pan over the coals. It melted slowly, cooling golden. Onion slices followed. The first contact hissed softly. She stirred with a wooden spoon. Slow, patient circles. The onions softened, turned translucent, then deep caramel brown. The air filled with sweet richness. She transferred them to a clay bowl, leaving the pan glistening. The chicken bundle unwrapped, yogurt spooned over the pieces, crushed garlic pressed in with the flat of the knife, fresh ginger grated directly onto the meat, fine moist strands falling. Spices added. Cardamom seeds popped from pods between her fingers, cinnamon snapped into shards, cloves dropped one by one. Her hands massaged everything together until the pieces were evenly coated, glossy and fragrant. Inside the clay handi, the layering began, slow, almost ceremonial. First layer, a thin bed of caramelized onions spread evenly with her fingertips. Then spiced chicken pieces laid carefully, gaps left for steam to rise. A handful of parboiled rice scattered over the top, grains falling like soft rain. Another scattering of onions, more chicken, more rice poured slowly so it settled in gentle waves. Saffron milk, strands bloomed deep red gold in warm milk earlier, drizzled in thin, glowing threads. Ghee poured in a slow, luxurious spiral, pooling and sinking. Fresh mint leaves torn by hand and scattered, bright green against gold. Wild thyme sprigs placed delicately across the surface. A light mist of rose water from a small bottle, tiny droplets catching the firelight like diamonds. She rolled a soft dough rope between her palms. It lengthened, warmed by her skin, pressed it firmly around the rim of the handi, sealing the lid airtight with careful, even pressure. The sealed handi was lowered into the shallow pit she had dug earlier. Hot coals shoveled around the sides, then piled thickly over the lid. Soil and ash sprinkled lightly on top. A small fire rebuilt directly over the mound. Now, she waited. She sat on the flat rock, knees drawn up, arms resting on them. The sun disappeared completely. Stars emerged, first one, then hundreds, then thousands. The Milky Way arced overhead like spilled milk across black velvet. The fire on the mound reduced to glowing coals. Thin wisps of aromatic steam escaped from tiny cracks in the soil, rising, curling, vanishing into the cold night. Time passed in silence. Eventually, she knelt again. With a cloth protecting her hands, she scraped away ash and soil. Coals brushed aside. The lid lifted slowly. A massive, fragrant cloud of steam erupted upward, thick, warm, carrying cardamom, saffron, ghee, roasted meat, caramelized onion. Inside, perfect golden layers, saffron rice plump and separate, tender chicken falling apart at the touch of the spoon, onions shining dark and sweet, mint and thyme flecks bright against the gold. She spooned the biryani onto a large, fresh green leaf she had picked earlier. Steam rose in thick, slow curls from the mound. She sat back on the rock, under the stars, leaf plate balanced on her lap. First bite. The spoon lifted rice, chicken, onion, herbs together. Steam trailed upward. She ate slowly, deliberately, letting each mouthful release its warmth into the cold night air. The fire beside her crackled softly. Embers pulsed. The mountains stood silent. When the leaf was nearly clean, only a few stray grains and a small piece of chicken remaining, she wiped the spoon on a cloth, placed the lid loosely back on the handi, wrapped the pot carefully in its cloth, folded the tent, strapped everything to the backpack. She stood, shouldered the pack, took one last look at the meadow, now just faint red embers and starlight. Then she began walking, along the trail, deeper into the night. Pine needles underfoot, stars above, snow peaks watching silently. Behind her, the last ember winked out. She walked on, carrying only the memory of fire, clay, rice, steam, and one perfect solitary meal eaten under an endless sky. The mountains kept their silence.